Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. This is going to be kind of a slow and steady episode. It's a new session from last time, so I'm not nearly as salty about Scandinavia, but I am still a little salty, so, we're going to see how that goes. But for this episode, we're going to be getting started with going a little slow here, because we need a few things out of today. The first is we need a Pacific fleet. So we need to get started with that. Let's see what kind of population we've got in these areas. We've got some labor available. I don't necessarily want to put all of it over here, but maybe like a third or half of this fleet can be based in the east. So create a fleet. It's going to be in the Manchuria HQ. And we will name it the Pacific Fleet. The Pacific Fleet. The Pacific Fleet. Confirm that. And we need a commander. You're meticulous and a dockyard organizer. You'll do. So let's get started with... We're definitely going to have frigates. We'll base those over here in the west. So let me see where we got labor available. We got some here. One in Kola. Let's do 5 in Kaunas. And 5 in Odessa. And a couple in Kuban, and a couple in Rostov. How many is that? That's 19. We'll throw one more in Rostov. And then for capital ships, we're going to want close to an equal number of those. So we'll put a couple in Alexandrov, a couple in the Crimea, and a couple in Nenetsia. And then we'll do... we'll say 5 each in Primoria and Amur, and maybe 2 in Kamchatka. And that should get us to where we want to be. Next, I want an expansion of the Black Sea Fleet. Where are you? Well, you are out here in the Pacific. Alright, well, you need to come back to the Black Sea. The Black Sea Fleet currently has... It should have about the same as the Pacific Fleet, I think. So we'll throw one more frigate in, and then 3 levels of man of wars in each of those 2 areas. And then the Baltic Fleet we're going to expand significantly. I'm going to throw 10 levels of frigates in Kaunas. And another 5 each in Alexandrov and Rostov. And then we'll do another, I think, 15 levels of man of wars, and we'll spread those out across the southern area. And what that's going to do, among many other things, it's going to give us a whole barrel full of Navy power projection, because this fleet's basically going to be expanded and doubled, and this fleet's going to go up significantly in size. So I'm thinking our prestige from Navy power projection is going to about double. So that's going to get us about 200 prestige, and that'll get us scratching the bottom of Great Britain's prestige. And then from here, oh man, we bounced into 2. And then from there, I think next up, we're going to do an army expansion, and we're going to standardize out some of these armies. And in particular, we're going to give a lot of our armies that don't have a lot of artillery. So, oh goodness, I never upgraded the artillery in some of these armies. Let me double check that. 8th Russian Army just has no artillery whatsoever. That was smart. So strategy genius leader person. All right, so we want to be getting a lot more artillery. So that's kind of the idea. So first corps, I think, is going to remain our major force. I'm actually going to add 1 level of cavalry here. We're going to put that in Moscow, and then I'm going to add 7 levels of infantry, and then we're going to get 10 levels more of artillery here. We'll put all of those in Yaroslavl. Yeah, too many. Oh, because another 10 levels of infantry. We'll put those in Yaroslavl as well. Yaroslavl is going to be a big recruitment area because the population there is huge. 8th Russian Army, we're going to needs just artillery. We'll give it 10 levels of artillery. We'll get 4 more levels of cavalry. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 10 levels of artillery. We'll put those mostly in Saratov and Rostov. That should be a good solid... Oh, actually, we're going to need more levels. So we'll go 10 levels in Tambov. We're short of infrastructure in Kursk. I don't think we're short of infrastructure anywhere else, but we will need to build up... Oh, we're already building one. Beautiful. Great job, earlier me. Alright, and then 3rd Corps will basically round up the infantry and throw another 10 levels of cavalry in there. 2nd Corps, or sorry, not cavalry, artillery. 2nd Corps, we're going to double the number of infantry. And I'm basically spreading these out across a bunch of different areas. And we'll put 10 levels of artillery in there. In Chernihiv. 9th Russian Army also needs a little bit of artillery and a little bit of cavalry and a bunch of artillery. Let me see. Tver is a good place for 4 battalions of cavalry. And then we'll do 16 battalions of infantry. That's 9th Russian Army. 5th Corps, we're not going to do that much, too. We're going to do 4 more levels of infantry. And then 4 more levels of artillery. And this will remain kind of a small army. Spain sides of fascist France. Well, excuse me? What is going on over here? Hold on. An ethno-state. Well, they're both ethno-states. What's this about? Your agrarianism and tenant farmers. Your interventionism and homesteading. That's bananas. Why is France an ethno-state? What happened? I don't like that. I am tempted to side with Spain out of pure spite. But this particular agrarianism versus tenant farmers thing doesn't really concern me all that much. Well, they are very friendly towards us. Let's see who else is aligned in this thing. Not a lot of people. I don't think the fascists can win. I'm going to keep an eye on this for now. If I make them an offer. Transfer states. What options have we got here? French East Sahara is here. That's not of any use to me. Maybe Senegal or Mauritania? French Guiana. Oh, Guyana, down here. That would be an interesting option. Sahara, East Sahara, French Timbuktu, that's here. Inner Mauritania, that's here. And Gabon is here, which is not of much use to me. So those are options. Can't get a subject. I could get a pile of cash. which would be nice. And in Mauritania, it would be nice if I could connect up with them, but there's no guarantee that I can. And we'll go with a pile of money. We are doing a military expansion, so that we'll get a chance to do that. So, I don't think this is going to be too gigantic and unreasonable a war, but you know, we'll see. For the moment, do we want to mobilize everything? I don't know how much of an army Spain has. Not that much of one. I don't know that we need a full mobilization here. I'm definitely going to mobilize this army. And these ones. And maybe I'll pull up the 5th Corps and put that army in France. And then I'll grab the 8th Russian army and put them in France. And I'll grab the 4th Corps way over here in Siberia, and I'll put them in France. And I'll let that be that for now. So that'll cost us a pretty penny, but it is what it is. And that'll get us a nice shot in the arm economically. So now that I've mobilized both these two units, I'm kind of wondering if I only need one of them on coastal defense. Which I know is silly. I mobilized them to defend the coast, but at the same time, you know, the temptations are high. In any case, though, I don't see anyone else getting involved in this situation. Great Britain could, but I don't think they're gonna. If they do, then we'll do a total mobilization. But let me just keep an eye on this while it goes. Rubber and Guinea, very good. And there's the countdown to war kicking off. Alright, so Great Britain's not going to be in. Rubber Rush. Rubber has been successfully grown in Russian Guinea. The fragile nature of these trees and their difficult-to-meet conditions make this achievement exceptionally important. The Amazonian rubber monopoly is finally over. Those beautiful trees have decided to grow elsewhere after multiple unsuccessful attempts. Those stubborn little things. And now it is our duty to end those greedy tycoons' empires. This is an event we're going to get a bazillion times. I'm only going to read it a few times. The first option is this place seems most effective. This gives 25% migration and attraction in the area. Or caution, we don't want to exhaust the soil. It gives, puts the rubber somewhere, it puts the rubber somewhere else. That's interesting. So I could put it in Guinea or Sierra Leone. This is interesting. So this is Mauritania. This is Guinea. And Sierra Leone is where? You know, I'm not sure about it, so I'm just going to say this place seems to be the most effective. We'll have those in Russian Guinea. Alright. Moving right along here. Iron resources are pretty solid, if I recall correctly. Yeah, iron's doing great. So I think we're going to go ahead and build, do another expansion of the construction sector. We're going to do 2 levels here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and we'll do a couple each in a lot of these areas that have significant populations that we haven't developed too much yet. So let me see. That's 20 levels of construction sectors. That's a really huge number, but at the same time, I think it's a sensible plan. Obviously, this construction queue looks like it's really long. You might have noticed that with these numbers here, the number of buildings in each level of the construction queue has gone, hey, there's the war kicking off, has gone way down. So it's 18 pages, but there are only 12 buildings per page instead of 25 or whatever they were before. Diplomatic play against Ulata. I don't think France needs help in this, so we'll kind of let that go. All right. So, and we'll kind of see how this war is going, and then we'll concern ourselves with it. For now, strategic objectives will be the capital of Spain, and in France, where is the fascist capital? Hey, there's hand-cranked machine gun. Wonderful. Is in Normandy. Alright, so we'll target that as the primary strategic objective. Force comparison here on the French front looks really, really solid. I'm not super concerned about that. Let's take our Baltic fleet out to the Bay of Biscay to challenge the Spanish Armada. Faith knows no borders. The Orthodox Church wishes to strengthen our ties with Moldavia through our shared faith. He stopped for a moment, wiping his brow, when he noticed the Moldavian farmhand on the adjacent field seemed to be knelt down in the furrow. Confused, he peered over, finally recognizing the man was deep in prayer. He should have recognized it, but it never crossed his mind that they might have had in common a few hard years and a faith that things would get better. Despite differences, we cherish our shared values. This improves relations and makes the Orthodox Church stronger. Or I can say we're Russian first, Orthodox second. This makes the intelligentsia happier. I'm going to go with the first one. Stronger Orthodox Church is good for me. And, yeah, that's send tweet, as the children say. You know what? Let's pull the third corps in on this. Force comparisons are looking really, really solid here, but more units in the battle will get it done faster. Finances are doing great. I wonder if that's temporary. Because of the bankroll from France. That's what's going on. They're paying us a huge pile of cash. Leader of the Orthodox Church died. Oh, this army is... No, they're low on morale. They're not low on organization. They're low on morale. That's fine. They can be low on morale. Well, I guess now I know why we surpassed France for prestige. Because, they got cut in half and lost a bunch of their prestige. So I think next we're going to spend some time bashing away at our deficit of taxation capacity. We've got a few inactive trade routes. This one's to Japan, and this one is to Spain. Obviously, they're both paper routes. We're bringing in a lot of paper from Austria, so if we could be paper independent, that would be just great. What do things look like from our paper perspective? Paper is quite expensive in our customs union, so I think we're going to build up some of these paper mills. Ely doesn't really have the infrastructure. Mazovia definitely does. We'll put 5 levels of paper mills in Mazovia. And 5 in Novgorod. And that'll give us a lot more paper to play with. So from there, we're going to build up a bunch of government admin. So what are our problem areas? Tula, chronic problem area. We're going to need to build railways there in order to get what we need. Let's build up to 20. That should put a significant hole in this deficit. Yaroslavl will do the same. Kursk, we can put 8. And we're going to need railways in those areas as well. Let me see. Kharkiv, we're only short. We can put 8 in there, so they'll build that up to 20 levels. And then Kyiv... we'll just throw another 10 in there. It's not going to get us everywhere we want to go, but it'll be some. Tambov will do another 10. Alright, and then areas we're going to need extra railways. We're going to need them in Tula, Kursk, and Yaroslavl. Tula, Kursk, Yaroslavl, and Tambov. Alright, so go ahead and add those. Yep. Come on, get it together. Tula, Kursk, Tambov, and Yaroslavl. I'm going to build 2 levels each. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw those... Oh, we're already building 2 in Kursk. Alright, well, we'll only build 1 in Kursk then. Yeah. And we'll basically throw all of these government admins below the railways. And that's going to take... This will take us a good long while to get to, but hopefully it will end our dependence on Austrian paper imports, for one thing. And number 2, it'll help out with our whole bureaucratic situation. Organized crime. Criminal organizations have been operating in Nizhny Novgorod. It doesn't matter if we arrest one person or solve one crime. It will keep going unless we go all the way to the top. Put some funds into stamping out the organization. This one costs us cash. Or I'm sure the authorities can deal with it. This costs authority. I'm going to put the authority into it. Ooh, actually, that was more authority than I was hoping for. And now that we've got a good, solid construction queue going, I feel very confident in our ability to play a little faster and, in some ways, a little looser. So, force comparisons in these areas look really solid. It looks like Spain is winning here. They've got skirmish infantry and mobile artillery, so we should be able to win in these areas. We're definitely winning against fascist France, which is kind of the main enemy. Okay, here, this one's a win for us for sure. And this one is a win for us as well. Alright, perfect. So I'm feeling pretty confident about that. We have a Finnish secession movement growing. That is unfortunate. And we'll have to mobilize some units to deal with that. So we'll just get those mobilized. Gold depleted in Shablyansk. Sorry, not Shablyansk. Chelyabinsk. Goldfield is depleted. You know, we can't just let them leave. That'll be fine. So that means we have a little bit more gold mine capacity. 5 levels in Chelyabinsk. That's wonderful. Let's go ahead and throw those at the top of the queue. I love gold! And that'll get us everything we want. It's all that shiny stuff. Great game, still in our favor, but progressively getting less in our favor. Well, it's in our favor, but it's slowing down. But if we can continue to win what we want to win, then we'll be good to go. Secessionists protest. Proponents of the Finnish secession movement have gathered for a public protest. As the crowd began to gather, attention seemed apparent among onlookers and passers-by, more than that which would usually be expected at the site of a political rally. Perhaps the agenda of national independence stirred up thoughts about civil war, or perhaps more likely, it was simply the unfamiliar feeling of finding themselves outnumbered, even momentarily, by Finnish people. Break it up, cost us a bunch of authority, or let them be heard. Extra Finnish pops become radical. I'm going to let them be heard. Finnish pops being radical is a Finland problem, not a Russia problem. That area is going to be Russian. So, sorry, that area is going to be Finnish. Finland has seceded. Got a new mandate. So let's put some units on this board. Not at all concerned about this. They don't have much of a force. If anyone joins, that'll just be what it is. Alright, exile from France, not a problem. Come on, give me Normandy. Oh my gosh, look at the size of this battle. Golly. Here we go. Finnish uprising attitude worsened. Well, that's not a shocker. Oh, interesting. We got some extra authority because the landowners are pleased. Or at least not angry. Yeah, the political lobby's mad. They're mad about... they're in the Prussian-Russian Fellowship, and we fought a war with Prussia, so they're salty about that. So at this point, the French uprising is going to lose its war support protection. But that shouldn't be a problem for us. Ooh, Taiping Religious Revolt. This presents an opportunity. All right. All right, Spain has bailed, and we now have a front in the Heavenly Kingdom. So right away, I'm going to grab all of our armies that were in Spain and bring them over here to the Heavenly Kingdom. We have sided with a religious revolt in the Heavenly Kingdom to get that country into our power block, and that is going to be a huge, huge benefit. We're also going to be nominally on the other side of Japan, but I'm not super concerned about that. Does Japan have a fleet? I don't think they do, which means that my burgeoning Pacific fleet will be able to raid those areas completely unbothered, which makes me really happy. And there's the end of Fascist France. My army is error handling its way over to this front, which is just fine. I actually did not need those armies there. Are they going to get there? Nope, they're going to find themselves back in Asia, which is just fine. That's closer to where they were. That's closer to where I wanted them to be. And yeah, we'll let wherever those other ones have got to, we'll let them get there. So sorry, Heavenly Kingdom. I know you and I were friends for a bit. Now we're going to be in a war against each other, but I trust you'll find a way to live with it. And there's the war against the Finnish uprising. This'll reduce problems from unrest in Finland significantly. All right, so now we're finally working on getting our naval bases built up. Obviously, this is going to mean major costs for us, but it's also going to be very effective for increasing our prestige and power projection, which is very important. This is the front that's going to contain the Japanese and Burmese forces. So actually, this one might end up being the major one. So let's go ahead and get our largest army over there. And that's our war with the Heavenly Kingdom kicked off. We have... Oh, that's just the game telling us there's still a civil war going on in Finland. Crushed Finnish secession. That should be just fine. We are already really, really winning in a bunch of different areas. We got a huge win popping off over here. We got huge wins popping off over here. And we'll be pressing onward towards Burma pretty soon once our major armies finish out with the northern and western areas and get into there. So overall, I'm feeling extremely confident in our ability to ability. Gold Rush. Gold has been discovered in Altai. People from all corners of the earth are converging here, confident they will discover the next great lode and become incredibly rich. We've seen this event before. I'm going to say it's mine all mine, same as I always do. And that'll be just fine. All of our armies are moving towards the front here in the south, and we're starting to get occupation there, which is wonderful. What state is their capital? Oh, Chongqing is their capital, so we'll be there soon. And which state is our capital? I capital of the side that aligns with us. It's Ningxia. I apologize to any Chinese speakers for my for not knowing the name of the language, but also for I don't know which of the major Chinese languages these ones would be. I assume it would be in Han, but that's completely an assumption. In any case, Ningxia is the... I also apologize for my bad pronunciation. Ningxia is the capital of our side on the Taiping religious revolt. And that's... so that's what we got to make sure we're defending. Language in the classroom. Kazakh students sometimes use their native language in Russian schools. Some have called for teachers to penalize the use of these languages, forcing children to speak the official language of Russia. You've noticed it too, right? He gets angry when anyone talks in class, but he also gets angry. But he gets angrier when we're talking. Maybe he thinks we're talking about him. I think he just doesn't like being reminded that we know something he doesn't. School should teach them the proper language. 10% of Kazakh bops become more radical. 20% assimilation, but 20% extra radicals from discrimination. Or their language is part of their heritage. Minus 10% assimilation. Minus 20% radicals from discrimination. Petite bourgeoisie and Orthodox Church. Big. Mad. I can't really afford to piss off the Orthodox Church, so I'm going to do the first one. And hopefully that won't cause too many problems. There's the finished secession completed. And where are we with time? We are actually out of time for this episode. The beginning of it went slowly while we were planning our massive military expansion. But it's going to be... This is going to pay major dividends later on. And later on, it's going to have to be another next episode. For now, I've had fun. I hope you've had fun. And I will see you on the other side.